So how do you determine rates when you have fractions? Well, the key to this is really the same as when you're doing regular rates. You have to look for the question. So in the question, whatever quantity is given first is supposed to be the numerator in the ratio. So let's see what we mean. Uncle Drew scored 28 points in 5 and 5/6 minutes during a basketball game. How many points did he average during that 5 and 5/6 minutes? So in this problem, even though they present you with the 28 points first, it's important that you confirm in the question statement that the two quantities are points and minutes. In the question statement, points is given first and then minutes is given second. So your ratio needs to reflect what was asked for in the question statement. So yes, this should be points compared to minutes. At that point, it doesn't matter what type of number it was. It's still going to be 28 points in this problem is being compared to 5 and 5/6 minutes, which then means that I'm simply going to divide 28 by 5 and 5/6. Now this just becomes a division problem involving fractions. So to divide a number when you're dealing with a fraction, you're going to make sure all of your numbers are improper fractions. So in this case, this should be 28 over 1. So I'm going to rewrite it now. 28 over 1 divided by, turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 plus 5 is 35. So 35 over 6. Now we go back to our rules for dividing fractions, which would be keep, change, flip, KCF. So I keep 28 over 1 as 28 over 1. I change division to multiplication, and I flip 35 over 6, and it becomes 6 over 35. At this point, I'm going to multiply across in the numerators and the denominators. So 28 times 6 . 28 times 6 is 168. And that should be divided by 1 times 35, which we don't need a calculator for that. And that's 35. So now, because I'm dealing with a rate, I'd either simplify this fraction or I could divide it out. So 168 divided by 35 is 4.8. So that means that Uncle Drew averaged 4.8 points per minute. So that's really the entire skill. So I'll do another one just to make sure you understand it's the same process every time. Harvey the Wonder Hamster can run 3 3/6 kilometers in 1/4 of an hour. Harvey runs at a constant rate. Find his average speed in kilometers per hour. Again, the key is in the question. This question requires kilometers to be first and hours to be second. So I write my ratio, kilometers to hours, and then I'm going to take how many kilometers were there? 3 1/6 kilometers compared to 1/4 of an hour. So because I put it in this order, this tells me the math should be 3 1/6 divided by 1/4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make sure all of my numbers are either proper fractions or improper fractions. So in this case, I have 3 1/6, so I need to convert that to an improper fraction. So 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. So I have 19 over 6 divided by 1/4. So as always, because I'm dividing two fractions, I'm going to keep, change, and flip. So 19 over 6 is kept how it is. Division is changed to multiplication, and 1/4 is flipped to be 4 over 1. So now I'm going to multiply across, and 19 times 4 gives you 76, and 6 times 1 gives you 6. And so now, because I'm trying to find the rate, I'm going to complete this division. So 76 divided by 6 gives me 12.67, let's call it that. So ultimately, the average speed is going to be 12.67 kilometers per hour. And to figure out the final rate or the units for the rate, all you have to do is take the original units, kilometers. So here you have kilometers per hour. So it'll be kilometers/hour. So the final unit will be kilometers per hour. All right, so in this case, they're asking me to leave my answer as a simplified improper fraction. No problem. So I'm just going to simplify 76 over 6. Since those are both even numbers, I can divide them both by 2. So if I divide both of those by 2, that would give me 76 divided by 2 is going to be 38 over 3. So my final answer would be 38 over 3. So this is really a matter of just preference for what they're asking you for in this case, because as you saw in the last question, we were able to use a decimal. So 38 over 3. We'll do one more. Lucy is a dressmaker. She sews 4/7 of a dress in 3/4 of an hour. Lucy sews at a constant rate. At this rate, how many dresses does Lucy sew in 1 hour? Include fractions of dresses if applicable. So again, I'm looking for the question statement. I know that the quantities are there's 4/7 of a dress, so there are dresses and there are hours. There are dresses and hours. So even though we have dresses and hours, the question statement is where I'm going to find the information or the order that I want the information in. So the question says, at this rate, how many dresses, so dresses comes first, does Lucy sew in 1 hour? So this is dresses per hour. So if I'm going to figure that out, then I just need to take my dresses, write a ratio of dresses to hours. So my ratio is 4/7 of a dress compared to 3/4 of an hour. So since it's already in order now, what I have to do is complete the division. So this will be 4/7 divided by 3/4. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep, change, and flip because they're both already fractions that I can work with. So I'm going to keep 4/7. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip 3 over 4 to become 4 over 3. Now I'm going to multiply across, 4 times 4 is 16 over 7 times 3, which is 21. And again, it says include fractions of address if applicable. So in this case, it is a fraction of address. Let's see, is there a way to simplify it? No. So this would be 16/21 of address. Doesn't sound like very many dresses. So that's the whole skill. Again, the biggest part is reading the question, finding the units that they ask you for, finding the quantity that comes first in the question, put the ratio with the first quantity in the question first, and then divide the two quantities. If you know how to divide fractions, there's no concern for this skill. Even the question that I got wrong was correct. It's just that they asked for fractions as opposed to decimals. So just be careful for those types of instructions. And if you do that, you shouldn't have any problems. Hope it helps. Let's get it done.